Welcome to Tiafa Garage. Today we are going to be swapping out this old 80s cassette player for a Blaupunkt that would have been more period correct in the 70s. When I got the car, it had a different 80s setup, and so I bought this to be sort of consistent with what was in there, but now I want to go ahead and get the quote-unquote factory correct version in here. So the way I would get Bluetooth on this is I have a cassette Bluetooth adapter. If that ran out of battery, I would go through the aux jack here. In terms of connections, for the radio itself, it's just ground here, and then a positive antenna goes here, and then our Bluetooth, aftermarket Bluetooth adapter is going to go into the plug here. This was originally for a CB radio, believe it or not. Oh, look at that. The protective plug has some pins. All right, that is on there very snug. And so I'll just crimp this to the wire that's coming from the car. The recommended fuse is a 5 amp slow burn or time delay fuse. That'll go in line in the yellow main power supply. So on my old stereo, the purple was the right speaker and green was the left. So I crimped the 12 volt positive that's going to go to the fuse. And just to be sure, since this is a constant 12 volt live, I'm going to put a heat shrink over the whole thing. This one is the 12 volt ignition, and I'm just going to terminate it with some heat shrink. And the last one I'll cut is this black ground. All right, we've got all of our wires now on plugs, so I now need to take out this DIN metal. Our next challenge is to figure out where to mount the amp here. I found a spot in the passenger footwell here, right there. So I've got the amplifier, I've now got the speakers hooked up to it, and this is where it's going to plug into the stereo. I'm not going to use that bracket that it came with. I'm just going to use some Velcro. The person I got this from on eBay was kind enough to include a reproduction, like new faceplate, and then also the original. And because my car has patina and whatnot, even though the original is not perfect, I can see like the 5 has a little scratch there. There's very subtle differences, and this is typical of when you're doing this kind of car restoration stuff. This is a very good reproduction. You look for things like font sizes and centering of the letters and whatnot. It's very well done, I would say, but I like the patina and always just like things to be original when I can. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the original in there. The hole that I have is just slightly too small. Incidentally, if you want to see what the mouse hair was like originally, you can open the dash for the cars that are original like this. This is still fuzzy. This is still fuzzy a little bit here. This is not. All the fuzz has been gone left, and it's just the vinyl that was underneath it. So those pop in. Let's try this. This is a tape that came with the stereo from my buddy at eBay. I'll put the link in the comments. Turn it on. Oh, it's beautiful. I see trees of green, red roses too. To me, there's a certain elegance of having everything sort of in period. And that radio just looks so much nicer in that dash than the old 80s one did. Here's a fun fact with this radio. There's this thing called the Wunderbar. It's a early autoseek. We're gonna put up the antenna on the car. For that you need the key. And there's a switch here. That goes pretty high. I don't want it to hit the lift, so I stopped. And this you can set whether you're in the city, suburb, or country. It'll adjust the sensitivity of the Wonderbar. And then when you press this, oh yeah, it finds the next station mechanically. And it actually works quite well. If you can't find any, I guess it just goes around and around. And nothing. So it keeps going. So that's kind of a neat feature of this old radio. Thank you for watching Tiafo Garage. We will see you next time.
Tiafo Garage.